3:30. This is my presentation about the role of the bass player and where it's going in the future. What I'm going to do today is give you some demonstrations of different musical styles on the bass and how they have changed over the years and how they have led to the bass player moving to the front of the band, playing a lead instrument as opposed to a rhythm instrument. And at the end, I'll discuss where this is going from here with advanced technologies like YouTube and MySpace. That's right, advanced technologies. First of all, we're going to talk a little bit about the basics of the bass. This is an Ibanez sound gear bass. It's a good intermediate to beginning level bass. Just like most any other bass guitars you've ever seen, it has two magnetic pickups. All the pickups are pieces of, they're just magnets, and they have pieces of wire wrapped around them, and they pick up the vibrations of the strings when you pluck them, and it transfers those into electrical signal, which then can be amplified and changed into a louder sound. In this bass, you have controls. You can pick between either pickup and the different tones and volumes on those. This bass is a standard 24 fret bass, and in so doing, you have access to 2 octaves. And it's a fretted bass. It's not a fretless bass. Each little fret, each little piece of metal here delineates where the different notes on the fretboard are. Each fret is a half a step up. So if you go from 5 to 6, that's a half a step up. You go from an A to an A sharp, or to you get the idea. A to A sharp to B flat, you know, that kind of thing. Well, that's wrong, but I'll hash that out later. And basically, that's it for what a bass is. It's basically a guitar that's been converted to play lower notes, like that of the old school upright basses. So let's talk about some musical styles. First, I'm going to talk about some 12-bar music. 12-bar is very popular in blues and country, so you might recognize some of the mood you get off of it. It might remind you of blues or country music. I'm going to play you a quick 12-bar blues, and then I'm going to play you an example of a derivation off that of John Paul Jones, who played for Led Zeppelin. Here's the basic. You get the idea. And here's John Paul Jones' take on it. Great bass player. You should listen to him sometime. If you like Led Zeppelin, for sure you've heard him before. But here's some 12-bar derivations. Okay, that's 12-bar blues. This is basically the time period when the bass player was at the back of the band, when he was just kind of the guy that didn't get recognized very much. Now moving on to funk music. Funk can be defined as accentuating the downbeat in 4/4 time, so it'd be the first count, like so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You accentuate the down note, and you can do whatever you want in the space between. I'm going to play an example from a Stevie Wonder song, although the funk sound was really accentuated by a man named James Jamerson, who was basically Motown's session bass player for several years, and he recorded most of the top 40 hits that you know from Motown. Anything from the Jackson 5 that has a really cool bass line on it, chances are is James Jamerson that wrote it, even though he didn't get much credit. So here's some funk for you. You get the idea there. Moving on to some heavier rock, and 2 people that I believe have really pushed the bass to the front by not playing the bass like a rhythm instrument would be Jack Bruce of Cream, who played with Eric Clapton and Ginger Baker in probably the first power trio ever, and then John Entwistle of The Who basically took the bass to another level, playing it really fast and really loud, something that he was very notorious for. So here's an example of a John Entwistle tune. real loud sound. Didn't play the bass like anybody else, you know. Wasn't afraid to explore the higher frets either, to play it like it was a guitar, to play the lead role. Pete Townsend actually used to comment about how the bass doesn't have, how the Who doesn't have a proper bass player because John Entwistle is such off the charts. Moving on to some slap funk, basically the same roots as you see in funk music, accentuating the downbeat, playing with it in the meantime. And what happened, however, is a man named Larry Graham, who used to play for Sly and the Family Stone, and then in Graham Central Station, he led his own band, discovered that you could play the bass differently. You didn't have to play it with your thumb, like the old school basses did. Let me have a piece of plastic right here for you to rest your fingers on. And you didn't have to play it like this either. You know, just pluck it with your fingers. He discovered that what he called thumping and plucking, where you thump with your thumb and you pluck with your fingers. Nowadays it's usually referred to as slap and pop. You see a lot of bass players like Flea playing it, you know, just like that. But here's an example of a Larry Graham tune that I've embellished.